Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday, William Samoei Arap Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya, delivered the State of the Nation address to the country. But when William Ruto was delivering the State of the Nation address to the country somewhere in Nairobi, Julius Malema, the President of the Economic Freedom Fighters, was also delivering another powerful speech somewhere in the country. And in his speech, Julius Malema lectured William Ruto like a child. And because in politics nothing happens out of mere coincidence, in my next video, which is going to come shortly, I'm going to analyze why Julius Malema lectured William Ruto. Because we all know that Julius Malema has always supported William Ruto. At some point, he also unleashed an attack on Raila Odinga. What has changed?
On Ruto, as the EFF, we congratulated him, and we think that the Kenyans must accept the results. It is what it is. With highly contested elections and with such an outcome, which is very close, you are likely to have people who are not satisfied. It comes with the nature of the game. But Kenyans must prioritize Kenya and must protect Kenya and must protect democracy. They must love their country more than loving individuals, because we cannot destroy a country on the basis of this or that individual who hasn't won elections. Odinga has been trying. I think it's time for him to throw a towel and try a different candidate. Perhaps there could be a different outcome, but this is the 5th time. It can't be done beyond this. He needs to accept and move on.
Comrades, we want to make a call in Kenya, especially to Comrade Raila Odinga. Stop doing what you are doing. Do not disrupt Kenya. We need peace in Kenya. The President, William Ruto, was democratically elected in Kenya. I will not allow you to use the people of Kenya to destabilize the peace of Kenya.
But that's not the basis of this analysis. In this video, I want us to look at the relationship between Moses Kuria and William Samoei Arap Ruto. Because I've been studying Moses Kuria of late, and I'm asking myself two very important questions. The first question I'm asking myself is whether Moses Kuria is actually provoking William Ruto to fire him from office. If you've been following Moses Kuria of late, you should have noted that some of his statements are actually meant to provoke William Ruto to fire him. At some point, in fact, when William Ruto reshuffled his cabinet, most Kenyans believed that Moses Kuria was going to be kicked out of office. But that did not happen. And despite that, Moses Kuria is still doing his thing. Just the other day, he was in Nakuru. And while in Nakuru, Moses Kuria really appreciated and thanked Uhuru Kenyatta, the former president, for Huduma Centers.
Namshukuru pia Rais Uhuru Kenyatta kwa sababu hiyo serikali yake ndio ileta hii maneno. Na hiyo ndio tunataka. Serikali moja inaleta hii, ingine inakuja inaleta mengine, ingine inaleta mengine, Kenya inasonga mbele.
And I ask myself, who told Moses Kuria to acknowledge the effort of the former president? Because William Ruto cannot do that. William Ruto would have wanted the credit to be given to Kenya Kwanza government. And after that, the next day, Moses Kuria was on Citizen TV, where he was asked some question. And in his answer, he was very clear that nobody can actually stand between him and Raila Odinga. So that's something that I've been asking myself. The second question that I've been asking myself about this relationship between Moses Kuria and William Ruto is whether William Ruto is strategically trying to use Moses Kuria to penetrate Azimio for the purposes of spying. Because spying is also part of politics. We all know that Moses Kuria is currently in Kenya Kwanza. Perceptionally, he's provoking Ruto, is fighting Rigathi. But politically, you can't rule out that the fact that he can actually be used strategically to enter Azimio. So he will be embraced by Azimio. He will resign in quotes, join Azimio or join Azimio through his party, and then he will be able to sit at the high table where everything are discussed. And therefore, through that, William Ruto will be able to have one of his strong men on the table. I'm thinking maybe that could also be the strategy. But I've been thinking about Moses Kuria's latest utterances because clearly Moses Kuria is up to something. So in this video, I want us to do a critical analysis whether Moses Kuria is actually provoking Ruto to fire him. But before we do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, allow me to dive in. But before we dive in, allow me to take this opportunity to also thank the following people. You are seeing their names there for the coffee which they sent me earlier today. I want to thank them so much because it goes a long way in supporting the channel. You can also do the same using the numbers you are seeing on your screen. A cup of coffee is only 200, but you can do more. Ladies and gentlemen, the first question that we really need to ask ourselves is whether Moses Kuria is actually adding value to William Ruto, politically speaking. If you ask me, Moses Kuria's value to William Ruto is not in doubt. Number one, Moses Kuria has that sharp tongue. In fact, I was talking to a gentleman on this platform. He comes from the mountain. He told me that, Lee, you just don't know. The Kikuyus never voted for Raila Odinga because of Moses Kuria and his tongue. There's a way Moses Kuria communicates to the Kikuyus.
Sisi ndio tulikuwa tunashidia Uhuru kura na sisi ndio tulikuwa tunamwibia kura. Akili yote iliweka Uhuru kwa kiti iko hapa. Ile iko Azimio ni mwili peke yake. And I want to assure you all, kama kuna mtu ataangusha William Ruto sio mlima. Because we work as one team. And it is not something new. We have done it before. Tumempigia Uhuru kura sio mara moja, sio mara mbili.
And he told me that even the fact that the Kikuyus dumped Uhuru was because of Moses Kuria. He has that sharp tongue. And because of that, the guy was doubtful whether, because I asked him whether Ruto can fire Moses Kuria. He told me he's doubtful. So that's number one. Number two, Moses Kuria is Uhuru Kenyatta's ally. Uhuru Kenyatta's ally. And because of that, he's perceived to have left Uhuru Kenyatta. So William Ruto used Moses Kuria strategically for perceptional purposes. Because I've always told you that politics is a game of perception. So Ruto was able to create a perception that Uhuru Kenyatta was being dumped by his close allies. The first one, member of parliament. Another one, the same guy who was very close to him. So if Moses Kuria could dump Uhuru, who are you to still remain the other side? So it added that value. Number three, in my view, Moses Kuria was also being used because of Kiambu County. Kiambu County is one of the biggest county we have in terms of population in the Republic of Kenya. They have the highest registered voters. So it means in the mountain, if you manage to win Kiambu County, your chances of winning the other votes are also very high. And that's why he helped Ruto in consolidating that major voting bloc. So ladies and gentlemen, the biggest question then is, why would Moses Kuria provoke Ruto to fire him? Why? If you ask me, he can do that. For number one, timing. You see, if you look at the ratings of William Ruto currently, William Ruto is very unpopular. And in fact, I was just listening to a clip which was shared to me by a subscriber here, where a member of parliament was explaining to some radio station how, parliament is now useless. So the truth of the matter is that the mountain currently is not fully with Ruto. Ruto is losing the ground very fast. He's becoming very unpopular. So it means for Moses Kuria, this is now the right moment for him to ditch Kenya Kwanza. And he can do that. I don't want to rule out the possibility. He can do that. He can ditch Kenya Kwanza at this moment in time because of that popularity. Number two, if you ask me, it could also be about Mount Kenya Kingpin. Who is Mount Kenya Kingpin as we speak? Uhuru Kenyatta, I doubt. Uhuru Kenyatta has left politics. But who? Rigathi Gachagua, by virtue of being the deputy president, is claiming the seat. Moses Kuria is eyeing the seat, and every other person. The challenge they have, and I think Maina Njega captured this recently. The challenge they have is that they don't have a political party in the mountain. So if they had a political party in the mountain and that party had a leader, then probably that party would be, that party leader would be the Mount Kenya Kingpin in Kenya Kwanza. But because they don't have a kingpin, Moses Kuria believes that if he were to follow up with Ruto today, then he can easily fill in the gap by, if he leaves Ruto, then he will be able to create euphoria. Then he will be able now to become or call himself the kingpin. So I tend to think that that kingpin politics is also at play. Number three, in my view, is the 2027 politics. Why? That's the biggest question. In my view, under this, I can look at it from three perspectives. The first perspective is that in 2027, Mount Kenya might actually field a presidential candidate. And if Mount Kenya were to field a presidential candidate, who is that presidential candidate? I'm looking at the Azimio side. I'm seeing Martha. Who else? Jeremiah Kioni, I doubt. Kenya Kwanza, because Ruto will be the automatic Kenya Kwanza presidential candidate, I also doubt. But if Moses Kuria were to leave Ruto, then he has that chance of becoming a presidential candidate. So I'm looking at it from that perspective. Number three, I'm also looking at it as Moses Kuria's political interest. He can just decide to provoke Ruto to be fired for his political interest. And what are Moses Kuria's political interests? In my view, Moses Kuria's political interests are two. He can run for the presidency, even if not 2027, but in future. So it means he'll have to leave the party, leave government, develop the party, prepare it for 2027. So for his political interests, of course, Moses Kuria can also be the gubernatorial candidate in Kiambu County. That's something he did. He contested in Kiambu as a gubernatorial candidate and failed. He can actually make a comeback. Now that Kenya Kwanza's popularity is going down, he can leave that party, then he will be able to pick it from there. And if you ask me, the other reason why he could be doing this politically is to try and inherit Uhuru Kenyatta's support base. Majority of those who supported Uhuru Kenyatta, I don't think they will be able to support William Ruto. So there's that group of people. Or even if those will be joining Ruto, they're just praying that something good can happen. And to them, something good would mean someone like Moses Kuria emerging and living Kenya Kwanza. So for me, that's also very important. And if you ask me, the fourth reason is the Kenya Kwanza failures. Kenya Kwanza government has actually failed. Both their supporters and, of course, the entire country. So there's normally the burden of failures. Raila Odinga, for example, carried Jubilee failure just because he entered into the handshake with Uhuru Kenyatta. For William Ruto, for Moses Kuria, Kenya Kwanza failure are real. So if Moses Kuria were to leave today, it means he will leave those burden. Uko, and those guys will be able to carry it. But if he continued staying, the truth is he will have to carry those burden. And that's something I'm looking from my political lens, that maybe he can decide to provoke Ruto to fire him so that he can be free from carrying those Kenya Kwanza failure burden. I don't know what to think. That's my take. Until next time, this is Lee Makwiny. Bye-bye.